Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Sundays with Sully. Guess what, guys? While I was at Airmar, we meet up with Craig here, actually, and we are talking about transducers. That's what Airmar is really known for. If you guys are, familiar at all with Airmar, you might not actually know it, but if you've got any of the big four, the Garmin, the Navico, the Raymarine, the Furuno, these guys are making the transducers for the bulk of their product line. So figure, why not come to the source? Let's learn about these transducers a little bit more, and let's talk about, chirp. Everybody, I think, knows the word chirp, but I don't necessarily know if they know what it is, why is it great, and then we also talk about, you've got low, medium, high, and what's best for what species, where am I fishing? That's a really broad spectrum, but I figured let's go straight to the source, let's get some answers here, and let's see if we can help narrow down for you guys out there fishing what it is you guys should be setting yourself up for the transducers.
Sure, you bet.
So.
Yeah. So it used to be really easy. If you remember back in the day, it was 200 kilohertz or 50 kilohertz, right?
Exactly.
And it was 50 gives you your deep performance and 200 gives you your shallow performance. Pretty easy.
Pretty straightforward.
With chirp, those same transducers in the forms that are familiar now have what we call bandwidth. So rather than 200 kilohertz only, it has 150 kilohertz to 250 kilohertz. And it's going to transmit and receive over all of those frequencies.
So we're getting a nice broad.
You're interrogating, think of it this way, you're interrogating a target or you're interrogating the bottom with all of those different frequencies, all of which have a slightly different beam width.
Right.
And all of that energy gets returned back and compressed into one picture.
Okay.
So whereas 200 kilohertz at one frequency might have shown a school of baitfish as a big blob,
Right.
chirp quite possibly is going to show you individual fish in that particular
ball.
That ball. So that kind of resolution on targets is what the real benefit of chirp is.
Right. Exactly. So then we talk about the chirp. Now we're getting that target separation, possibly even seeing the bigger fish below it,
Sure,
right? And you're not just one blob, as it were, or one mark on there.
Right.
And then talk to me a little bit, like I said, we've got low, we've got medium, we've got high, wide, we've got all these different variations when it comes to a chirp transducer.
Sure.
Let's talk a little bit about the overview of those and what's, kind of, again, overview here, right?
Yep.
But kind of a broad spectrum of what those are. What do you want if I'm in 200 foot of water?
Absolutely.
That kind of stuff.
Yep. Yeah. It's really what you've got to, when you're looking at a transducer and what you want for your boat, you've really got to ask yourself, how am I going to use it? Because whereas it was one size fits all before, now it's really a refined tool for the fishing you want to do in the depths you want to play in. Okay. So high frequency is still great for shallow depths. Let's say high frequency is good, out to 750, 800 feet.
Yep.
Our high wide, because of the beam shaping
Bigger
that we
cone.
give on, is really to 500 feet.
Okay.
So it's a little shallower, but you're going to get a broader.
Much broader.
Thing.
Got it.
High frequency is going to give you better resolution on smaller targets.
Oh, okay.
So moving down the water column, that medium frequency, that frequency is going to give you the bandwidth that you're getting out of it is a little bit wider than the high was, but you're going to now get performance down to, say, 1,500 feet.
Okay.
All right, on a 1 kW transducer.
Right.
And then subsequently that low is going to give you a nice broad, wider beam, but it's going to give you the penetration down to, say, 2,000 feet.
Gotcha.
All right, so we're still high for shallow, we're low for deep, but we're really cutting that into different stratification.
Parsing it up.
Right, so if I'm an angler and all I want to do is I want to be in less than 200 feet and I want to be jigging wrecks, let's say, or reefs or something like that. I want a narrow beam so I get really, really good definition, then I get really good target definition.
Sort of separation there.
And so that would be what I would want. If I'm a pelagic guy,
right,
I want to be out looking at the upper water column, let's say down to 300-400 feet. I'm looking for pelagics, so I want wide coverage.
You want that big,
wide coverage. And then if I'm a daytime sword guy, I want high power and I want low because I'm going 2,500 feet and I want a lot of power down there. So it's really matching your fishing style and where you're going to be fishing to the transducers you put on your boat. The beauty in today's electronics is we can layer those. We can put multiple frequencies on the same boat.
Right.
That can be in the form of multiple transducers, or it can be in the form of, let's say, dual frequency bands in the same housing.
Same housing, go with one of these bigger ones or whatever.
Right,
And
then everybody's MFD gives you the ability to go in and select the frequencies you want to run. You can layer them, you can split screen, however you want to do it, right?
Exactly.
Our portion is giving you the best performance we can, the best resolution.
Giving you the options to look at it.
Making your fish finder the best it can be with an Airmar transducer.
Awesome. And then lastly, we get asked this a lot, and everybody sees this down in Florida. They see it down south. Side scan. All of these side scan transducers. That's more for bottom imaging, right? We're not really seeing, are we seeing many fish in that, or is that more for looking out and just seeing structure for that?
That's great for finding structure, and once you wrap your head around what you're looking at, it's an ultra high frequency. It has a different image to it,
right.
Obviously on the imaging. Targets you're going to see, a lot of times the targets will actually look like shadows. So you're seeing what's beyond that fish target, and if you can wrap your head around the fact that you're seeing the shadow of that target,
the actual.
Yeah, all of a sudden light bulbs go off, right?
Got it.
And you can kind of steer to that and then fish for them however you want.
Got it. And then lastly, I know we've touched on this in previous episodes of Sundays with Sully, but having these transducers, I mean, you can go, buy these, but getting them installed by an Airmar certified, like we are at Navtronics.
Absolutely.
Airmar certified, we do the test on it, so it's got a baseline test on the transducer. That still gives us, the extra year of coverage, right?
Yep. If it's installed by a certified installer, and before they leave the boat, they do their final install test with our TDT 1000.
Yep.
We have the assurance that when you walked away from the boat, it was the best it could be. It was working exactly how it was designed the day we made it, and we extend that warranty to a third year. So only certified installers doing the install can give that third year of coverage.
So definitely worth making sure you have a certified installer. These guys are constantly doing training for, I think it's around the country you guys are doing training for techs. Absolutely. So if you guys are a tech or you guys are a shop, highly recommend getting certified, get the training. It's well worth the day to learn all about these things and all the ins and outs and the do's and the don'ts and not hammering on them and all those fun things.
Sure.
So thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
You guys know the spiel. Give us a like, follow, subscribe, share on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at Navtronics. Airmar Technologies for their Instagram, or airmar.com to learn all you ever wanted to know about transducers. They've got it all right there. And thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Peace.